to counter the Muslim League. So Simon Commission came and to make an assessment what the Congress is doing. They are bringing a Muslim party, Congress Muslim party, to counter Muslim League, because Muslim League was going in stature and Jinnah. To counter that, it is Congress politics. So they started Congress Muslim League. So you can see that with respect to the 1927 Simon Commission, and they came with the agenda about constitutional reforms, and but it did not give any. They submitted the report, but there was no talk of the dominion status. So Nehru, Motilal Nehru, Pandit Motilal Nehru, he puts his report, and that became Nehru report. This is Pandit Motilal Nehru, Jawaharlal's daddy. So you can see on background of this, in opposition to the Nehru's report, who comes with 14-point formula?
Jinnah.
So Jinnah comes with 14 points. In counter to whose? In counter to
Pandit's report.
Motilal Nehru. To Motilal Nehru's report. So on this background, you will find 1928 December Congress session in Calcutta is taking place. In Calcutta session of the Congress, Nehru report was placed. Who's Motilal Nehru? Pandit Motilal Nehru's report was placed. When Pandit Motilal Nehru's report was placed, it was approved by the majority of Congress participants. They approved the report. When the report was approved, you can see young leaders were there in Congress. They also were very much dissatisfied, younger leaders, about the British politics. What did British promise? What constitutional reform they promised?
Autonomy.
They started with dominion status.
Dominion.
Did they give dominion status?
No, sir.
No. So who are the young leaders? One was Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, Satyamurthy from Tamil Nadu, all these young leaders in Congress, they were disillusioned and they expressed their dissatisfaction. When they expressed the dissatisfaction against the goal of dominion status, so they gave the British government 1 year time. So in 1 year time, if British government is not fulfilling this demand of dominion, then they said that we will we will protest, and we will launch in a larger scale civil disobedience movement. So what was the younger leaders saying? They got dissatisfied, they got disillusioned by the dominion status, and Jawaharlal Nehru, Subhash Chandra Bose, Satyamurthy, they expressed their dissatisfaction. When they expressed the dissatisfaction, what did they give? They gave an ultimatum to whom? 1 year time. To whom?
British.
To British government. If British government is not fulfilling the demand of dominion status, if the government is not accepting a constitution based on dominion status, then by the end of the year, Congress would not only demand what? Not only demand complete
dominion status.
They will demand complete freedom. If they are not accepting for autonomy, we will demand complete freedom. This was the ultimatum given. We want complete freedom. At the same time, we will also launch civil disobedience movement to attain what? To attain its goal of complete freedom. So you can see that. So Congress session 1928 was very important because younger blood was coming into Congress. They are demanding the the Congress that Congress would launch massive protests, massive civil disobedience movement, and to attain that what complete freedom. So Calcutta session, Motilal Nehru was the president. Who is Motilal Nehru? Pandit Motilal Nehru was one among the most
Father of
lawyer and father of Pandit Jawaharlal.
Jawaharlal Nehru.
He presented his report. It was accepted. It in opposition to Simon Commission. Simon Commission report. So Dominion clause was not liked by the youth. They said, why we have to ask Dominion? We want complete freedom. But they said two may ultimatum. Finally, only 1 year grace period was given. If not, we will launch civil disobedience movement and to attain what? To attain complete freedom or complete independence. Demand is not accepted. So during this time, All India Youth Congress Committee was formed, where Jawaharlal Nehru became its first what they called youth president, who who galvanized the sulking Congress, and he wanted to bring Congress into the forefront of the freedom struggle. So on this background, you can see that Lord Irwin declaration comes. So by this time, you can see the foreign cloth boycott committee was formed in Congress that they will boycott all the foreign goods and all the fabrics which comes from machine made goods. And then they started this Swadeshis, Khadi, and also the local weavers and woven clothes. So the HSRA, Hindustan Socialistic Republic Association, which is a branch of Anushilan Samiti, so they were disliking the politics of whom? They disliked and disapproved the politics of whom? They got disillusioned. Whose politics?
British politics, sir.
No. Mohandas
Mahatma
politics
Gandhi.
and Gandhi's politics. They were got disillusioned. So they wanted what you call, they were rejecting the non-violence and the satyagraha technique of Gandhi. They wanted to capture the power with what? With violence as well as with armed rebellion. So, Batukeshwar Dutta, Rajguru, Sukhdev, Chandrasekhar Azad, and Bhagat Singh, all they planned this Central Assembly explosion. In this, Batukeshwar Dutta and Bhagat Singh, they stood rock solid and they were raising nationalist slogans after throwing the bomb. And this was not a very harmful bomb. It was deliberately made in a such a way that it is not harmful. Only they wanted to make the assembly hear to the cry. They want to deaf ears. So during this time, Ramsay MacDonald, you can say he comes to the power when he becomes the Prime Minister of England in UK. So they wanted what they called to give some kind of a concession to the Indians who are very much agitating. So Lord Irwin is the viceroy during this period of 1929. So Lord Irwin comes with a declaration, and that statement is called as Irwin's Declaration. And this declaration came on 31st October 1929. When this declaration came, Irwin's declaration. So Irwin was the Viceroy Governor General. So he restarted the goal of dominion status for India. It restarted with the goal of dominion status as mentioned in the August Declaration. August Declaration came when? Who gave? Lord Montagu gave. And Lord Montagu gave in August
August 9, 19.
1917. He gave that declaration that dominion status will be given to India. But did India get dominion status?
No,
No.
sir.
So when you didn't get dominion status, then and no time frame was given to give that what you call the dominion status. And what did for that what happened? Three commissions were came. What all commissions are to check, because the next constitutional amendment from 1919, it after 10 years is 1929. So now, so you can see that after 19, before that, who came? Simon Commission came. Then which all commission? Three commission.
Moodyman Committee,
Okay, one was Simon Commission, and one was Moodyman Committee.
Butler Committee.
Then Butler Committee. Did these three committees and commission give any respite?
No, sir.
Did they give any concession?
No,
No.
sir.
What they were asking? Dominion status. So that is why the Youth Congress Committee, headed by Jawaharlal Nehru, Chandra Bose, Satyamurthy, all said, why dominion? We will ask complete freedom. Why we need to beg with them? And we will, for them, we will launch civil disobedience movement. So now Lord Irwin is coming, and he said, okay, we will have what he comes with promised that after the Simon Commission report, now Simon Commission report will come. Then if that is not final, then what is final? He said round table conference. So round table conference, you can see that RTC will be the final thing, and that whatever decision is given in round table conference, they have to accept. So on November 2nd, 1929, Lord Irwin and others, they prepare, they come to an, what you called, they come to a agenda. But this agenda, which was prepared by Congress, it was not what you called accepted by Irwin. What was that agenda? It is called as Delhi Manifesto. And this came on 2nd November 1929. So it was prepared in a conference which was held at a prominent place where all leaders, prominent leaders, attended this conference. When this leaders came, they put three demands. Leaders. What were the demands which was put by the leaders? One, the purpose of round table conference should formulate what? Purpose. Should formulate a constitution. And
Sir,
yes,
is it in this manifesto of the Congress they have given like Bhagat Singh or and the others they should not be hanged to death? Is it in this manifesto?
yeah. This only Gandhi just puts a lip service, but they don't press because Gandhi is under pressure. This is what Gandhian politics. Okay. So they wanted a constitution. What is that constitution? See, they were demanding what? The main thing is that we want a constitution. And this constitution should formulate what? It should have dominion status. Autonomy for India. This is what they are asking for last 20 years, but nothing is granted. So dominion status is what they ask. That is why the extremists also, what you called, they were supporting the World War I. Did they get? No, past 2 decades they are fighting. But the British said 1917 that we will give you. But even after 1929, there is no talk about dominion status. Second demand, which was kept by the leaders prior to the preparation of Delhi manifesto, Congress said should should have majority representation. Congress should have majority representation in RTC. Third, there should be general amnesty. There should be general amnesty for all political prisoners, not criminals. Political prisoners, and a policy of reconciliation. What do you mean by reconciliation?
No idea, sir.
To make peace, to conciliate. So
Make
reconciliation
amendment.
will be done so that they forgive, they accept. Okay. So you can see these what were the demands which was given in the Delhi manifesto. Leaders, prominent leaders, all accepted after Irwin's statement. Irwin's statement came when? 31st October 1929, and Delhi Master was handed over on 2nd November 1929. Okay, so you can see that three demands were put. What were the demands put by the leaders who attended this conference? Roundtable conference. The purpose should be what? Formulate a constitution which will give us what? Dominion status. Then Congress should have majority in representation in the roundtable conference. Third demand, there should be general amnesty for all political prisoners and a policy of conciliation should be adopted. So for this, we can see Mahatma Gandhi, Pandit Motilal Nehru, and other leaders. They all went and met Lord Irwin. When they met Lord Irwin, so this manifesto was prepared on 2nd November 1929. And now with this manifesto, they went and met Lord Irwin. So Lord Irwin, they met in December, early December 1929, which 1 month time they took to prepare, strategize their things. So Lord Irwin, when he was, when this manifesto was handed over, what was Lord's reaction? What was Lord Irwin's reaction? He
Rejected, sir.
rejected the manifesto. So Delhi manifesto was rejected. So when Delhi manifesto was rejected, you can see that Lahore session Congress takes place. So in December 1929, Congress session took place in the Lahore area. In this, Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru was elected president. In 1928, Calcutta session, December, who was the president?
Motilal Nehru.
So 28, it was Pandit Motilal Nehru. So in 1929, Jawaharlal Nehru, father and son. Father is succeeded by his son, who is also a very eminent lawyer, and he became the Congress president. So we can see that Jawaharlal Nehru was nominated for the president in December session of 19, and it was mainly due to whose backing? Mahatma Gandhi backed his candidature. Who backed Jawaharlal Nehru's candidature? Mahatma Gandhi backed this what you call candidature, and every people voted him. So the following decisions were taken, and our session is very important. Why? They took the decision that we will boycott roundtable conference. And now they took Purna Swaraj. Purna Swaraj means what?
Total independence.
Complete independence.
Autonomy.
No. Purna Swaraj means complete independence. Swaraj means autonomy. Purna Swaraj.
Sir.
So complete independence from the British rule, no dominion, complete independence was accepted for the first time, and boycotting of roundtable conference. And Congress Working Committee, CWC, Congress Working Committee was authorized to launch civil disobedience program. Which was authorized to launch civil disobedience program? Congress Working
Congress.
Committee. And this civil disobedience movement did start with what? They started with non-payment of taxes. Nobody will pay taxes. What did they do? Non-payment of taxes. And another important thing is that all the members of legislators, all members in the legislatures, or all legislators were asked to resign from their position. All who are there in the central legislature, state legislature, everything resigned from their seats which they are held. And moreover, 26 January 1930 was declared as the first Independence Day. And that was also called as Purna Swarajya Day. What was called as? Purna
Purna Swarajya.
Swarajya Day. So that is why when Constitution of India was framed and was adopted on which day? 26th November 1949, they said that we will come make sure that this constitution will come on 26th January 1950. Why this took 26th January? The reason is that they wanted to honor the 26th January 1930. 20 years ago, they celebrated first Independence Day. That is why they wanted to celebrate Republic. Republic means what? No sovereign, no hereditary. People will elect as president. That is why they took first Independence Day. So on 31st December 1929, in the midnight on the banks of River Ravi, the Congress President Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru, he hoisted the tricolor flag, and also he also raised the slogan Inkilab Jindabad. What did he say? Inkilab Jindabad. Long
Zindabad.
live revolution. Long live revolution. This is what he sung on banks of River Ravi on 31st December 1929. In the midnight, he hoisted the tricolor flag such a way that the dawn of 1st January 1930, India will be free. This was the idea why they took on midnight, 12 o'clock, their Nehru hoisted the national flag. So you can see on this background, earlier Motilal Nehru asked for what? So what they
Dominion
asked
status.
for dominion
Dominion
status, but youth did not agree. They said what? We will ask for complete independence, and only 1 year grace time was given so that a new constitution frame. And prominent leaders all came, they put three demands, and that was taken as a manifesto and given to Lord Irwin. Lord Irwin, what did he do? He took it both hands, welcomed that manifesto, or what did he do? He rejected that manifesto. When he rejected, you can see that 1929 Congress session comes. Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru becomes the president, and he declares complete independence as a goal. We are going to boycott the RTC, and we are going to launch the civil disobedience movement. Not only that, what they said that they asked what? They asked the legislative members in all central and state to resign from the seats, and they declared 26 January 1930 as the first Independence Day. And on 31st December 1929, on the banks of River Ravi, Pandit Nehru hoists the national flag, and he declares what? He slogan Inkilab Jindabad. Okay, so now we have Gandhian era too. Gandhian politics comes to the forefront. So Gandhi ji, when the Lahore session and Purna Swaraj was there, Gandhiji's comes with what? His civil disobedience movement. So civil disobedience movement as well as he comes with the salt satyagraha. So Gandhiji came with 11 demands, and this was made by Gandhi from whom? He put this demand to Lord Irwin.
Not Irwin.
So Lord Irwin, so he said, what all that? Prohibit intoxicants, particularly liquor. Second thing he said, change the ratio between rupee and what? Rupee and pound sterling. There was a what? Frequently Britishers were changing the exchange rate. So he said, don't change. You change the ratio. Then first thing, liquor, and change the rupee pound sterling rate. Then third thing is that reduce the land revenue. Fourth thing is that abolish salt tax. Then fifth thing is that reduce your military expenditure. Sixth thing is that you reduce your expenditure in your civil services, administration, and other what you call expenses which you are doing from India, and many people are given unnecessary salaries who are not working but you're keeping on India office. So sixth thing is that impose custom duty on foreign cloths. Then they said postal reservation bill. You accept. Abolish this department called CID, Criminal Investigation Department. Unnecessarily, it is misused. And there's no use of a CID department. You abolish this and release all political prisoners and issue gun license or license to arm to citizens for what? For self-protection. So these were the Gandhi's 11-point agenda. So main thing. So when Irwin rejected the Delhi Manifesto and the demands of which were, and now Gandhiji presents with his own demands, and he waited for 41 days. And his demands were not what he called bothered by the Lord Irwin. So now Gandhiji, as threatened, he launches civil disobedience movement. He started the civil disobedience movement by disobeying the rule that common man cannot make salt, and he broke that salt law, and he started with Dandi March on 12th April 1930. So the 11 points were put forward by Lord Irwin. 2nd January 1930, Congress leaders were in Lahore. And before the launch of CDM, 11-point demand was put, but Lord Irwin did not bother. And Lord Irwin was Viceroy from 1926 to 1931. What all we said, just a recap: reduce expenditure of army and civil services by 50%, prohibition of liquor and other intoxicants, reforms in criminal investigation, that is, abolish CID department, change in Arms Act, give what we call license to gun license, arms license to for self-protection, release all political prisoners, and also postal reservation bill. You reduce the pound rupee rate, you keep on manipulating, and also abolish on tax, reduce land revenue, reserve coastal shipping for Indians also, and also your revenue expenditure and your civil expenditure, everything to come, and also put custom duty on the foreign cloth, and also introduce textile protection where Indian weavers and their products will be protected by the onslaught of machine-made cheap machinery goods from England. So did Irwin bother this 11 points? Did he bother? Did he give
No,
anything?
sir.
So how many days did Gandhiji wait for a response?
41 days.
41 days he waited. So since 41 days there was no response from Irwin, Gandhiji launched the civil disobedience movement with what? With the Dandi March. So civil disobedience movement. So civil disobedience movement by Gandhiji started on 12th March 1930. It ended on 5th March. It started and it ended on 12th March. So we can see that no, it is not 12th March. I think it is 5th of January, 5th of April. So 5th of April, it for solemnly ended, not. So when was the march started?
5th,
No, 12th March
12th March.
started, 5th April it ended. So it started with Dandi March with salt satyagraha. On 12th March 1930, from Dandi, for the march was started. So some Sabarmati ashram to the Dandi on the borders of the Bay of the Arabian Sea. So 6th April, finally they reached the shores of the Arabian Sea, and Gandhi produced salt. So Gandhiji broke the law. See, he disobeyed. That is why it's called civil disobedience. He disobeyed the law that only British government can make salt and it can impose tax. So he broke the salt law. And by breaking this, he formally launched his civil disobedience. It is the duty of a righteous person not to obey the unjust laws. So that is what called civil disobedience. So what is the program of civil disobedience? So you can see that boycott of British courts, boycott of British schools and colleges, boycott of legislatures, and people need not pay any tax, rent, duty to government, boycott all foreign goods, resign from your civil services, military, police services, picketing of shops selling foreign goods and liquor, organized mass strikes, all these things. Now, people started to come to the call of Gandhiji. This became a very big national movement. So you can see that disobedience, it spread. You can see from everywhere people started to participate, north, south, east, and west. So salt satyagraha started in Tamil Nadu. In Tamil Nadu, who took Gandhi's what they called call? Who took in Tamil Nadu? Chakravarti Raja Gopalachari. So Chakravarti Rajaji, so he organized from Trichy, from Tiruchirappalli or Trichy to Vedaranyam. Vedaranyam, and this is in the Bay of Bengal. Bay of Bengal, and this Vedaranyam, in that day it was in the Tanjavur or Tanjore district. It was a coast, Tanjore district coast. So he made salt, he broke the salt law. So in Orissa, Gopabandhu, who's called Gopabandhu?
The Gandhi of Odisha.
So you can see Gopal Bandhu Chaudhary. So
Gopal Das, sir.
not Gopabandhu Das, it is Gopal Bandhu Chaudhary. Gopal Bandhu Chaudhary, he broke the salt law by he went to Cuttack to Balashore. In Balashore, he broke the salt law. Balashore. Then in Bihar, how people parted. Bihar comes in landlocked city. So what did they do? They launched civil disobedience by refusing to pay non-chowkidar tax. What do you mean by chowkidar?
Watchman.
Watchman. Who was doing the chowkidar? Police. So police were getting some kind of a tax for the upkeep of the police department. Bihar people said no chowkidar tax. In Peshawar, in the northwestern province, how this civil disobedience movement started? Khan Badshah Ghaffar Khan, or who's called as Badshah Khan, or Kudai Kit Matgars, or Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, or called as Kudai Kit Matgars, called Red Shirts. They participated in large numbers and organized a very powerful march in opposing the British to the call of Gandhi. That is why Badshah Khan is also known as Frontier Gandhi. In Maharashtra, in Solapur, who campaigned? Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini Naidu campaigned, and she campaigned that what? She broke the forest law. She was in the defiance of forest laws, and this forest laws, particularly, she led from Solapur, all three states, what is called as Karnataka, Maharashtra, and that time it was called central provinces. Today's Madhya Pradesh and other. So she went and broke the forest laws in all these regions, starting from Solapur. And in Manipur, to the call of civil disobedience, who came? Manipur. Daniel,
No idea, sir.
Rani Gaidulu. Rani Gaidulu. So she was a very young freedom fighter. Rani Gaidulu, she was only 13 years old. So she mobilized all the women forces and she raised the banner against the British in Northeast India. They have asked in many competitive exams, Rani Gaidulu, to the call of Gandhiji, they fought the British. Okay. So how did civil disobedience in the Gandhi's second phase of his politics, how did they participate? So they participated, how did they mobilize themselves? They mobilized in various forms, particularly in the North Indian, they started called Prabhat Peris. Prabhat Peris and Vanar Senars. What do you mean by Vanar Senars? Vanar means what?
Monkey.
Vanaprastha means forest warriors. That Manjari Senars. Then secret, what we called newspapers called secret patrikas were organized, where they put forward the demands, and also they also brought in lantern, and they suddenly will switch off all the lantern and they will switch on, and that will give some signal to the far away places. So that is called, they also organized magic lantern shows. So all these were part of the civil disobedience movement. So what was the extent of participation? You can see this Gandhian era became a world level event because it drew lakhs and lakhs of people, particularly women came. When women comes in large number, any movement will be successful. Students participated in, despite bringing a lot of what you called restrictions, students came, they defined all orders. Merchants came who were hit hardly by the British rules. Traders came who had lost their what you called their trade, and all were very enthusiastic. They were participating in large numbers in the call of Gandhi. And now Muslim participation was what you called was nowhere near to the 1920-22 level. That means slowly Muslims had what? They were not in that equal number. What was in 1920, 21? Why was Muslim participated in the highest Hindu-Muslim unity happened? Now, Muslims did not participate in large number. Why? Yes, yes, Pachang, Tani, Saurav. Why did Muslim did not participate in 1930 civil disobedience movement, but they participated in large numbers in 1920-21? What was the issue?
Failure of Khilafat movement, sir.
Khilafat movement was there. That is why people came. It affected directly the Muslim interests and also the religious interests. That is why Muslims came. But now they got disillusioned by the politics. And now slowly British is playing divide and rule. And again, who's gaining more hand? Communal politics. What was the communal politics? One was what? Hindu Mahasabha, other was RSS, and also the revolutionaries who are very much motivated with the Hindutva ideology. Then other side was what? Other side is what? Communists are started to rise, and other side Muslims League slowly drifted away because of the politics of British. So in 1930, Muslims did not show enthusiasm, but women participated, students participated, merchant, traders, common men, everybody participated. That it became great numbers. So you can see that July 1930, Lord Irwin started to impose. So what did he say? When people started to come in large numbers, and even women from orthodox and aristocratic people came, northwestern provinces, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, in the northeastern province of Assam, in Manipur, Rani Gaidulu, all India, they participated. So you can see that Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan is known as Frontier Gandhi. They are called as red shirts, and he is the leader of Kudai Kit Matkar. Kudai Kit Matkar is also known as servant of God. So many people came in northeastern region. Manipuri girl, Rani Gaidilu, who had participated in huge numbers. She was a 13-year-old girl. So you can see that the November RTC conference was the final, which was given by the by Lord Irwin. So when was the timeline now is that 1930 November to Jan 1931 roundtable conference will take place. Then you will have the Gandhi Irwin Pact. Then you will have the Karachi session. Then second roundtable conference. And that fails, that will start with civil disobedience movement, second phase of 1932. Finally, the Ramsay McDonald's Award, Communal Award, then finally 10 with Pune Pact with Gandhi Ambedkar Pact. So that is what we are going to see now. So you can see, so Viceroy, Lord Irwin, he was not very much accepting the demand. He said roundtable conference in London will be the last. So what do you mean by roundtable conference? General terms. What do you mean by round table?
All will be there. All the leaders.
So who will be there? Who will be the leader? And who will have the upper hand?
The British.
All will be equal.
No, logically you put. The seating arrangement.
All will be equal.
So everybody will be equal. Okay. So he is not having. Suppose if it is a conference. Okay, you keep this as a conference. So they will be the podium, a platform, raised platform is called podium. On this podium, you will be having a dais and a table there. They'll be having a high chair. Then there'll be other chairs. Yes or no? Then there'll be participants. Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So this is equal terms or non-equal term? This is equal or non-equal?
Non-equals.
So this is not equal. Here you see everybody is positioned what? In equal footing. Is there any high and low in this arrangement?
No, sir.
So that is why it is called round table conference. In fact, it when you see the photographs, it was a square table, but they gave this as a round table name so that everybody will be given equal opportunity to express the views. Everybody will be placed in a equal position. Okay. So shall we take a short break? Then we will go into the first our RTCs. 5
Yes, sir.
minutes break we'll take, and we'll try to finish this modern history today. Yeah, please take 5 minutes break, and we will follow the RTCs. 5 minutes only. Tara, are you there? Rahul? Rahul, able to hear me? Daniel,
Yes, sir.
able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
George Basumatari, able to hear me? Okay, shall we go into the RTC?
Yes, sir.
Okay, first roundtable conference. So first roundtable conference started from November 1930 to Jan 1931. And where did this roundtable conference held? It was held in London. And how did the leaders from India travel? They went on voyages in ships. They have to travel, and most of the leaders traveled in ships, and they reached the what he called the England for conference. So during this time, civil disobedience movement was in full swing, and the RTC held in London. Ramsay MacDonald was the British Prime Minister. So he was the presidium chairman, and he presided over the conference. Congress did not participate. Who participated? So you can see that participation, that Congress did not participate. Then who participated? So British representatives were there in the members of the parliament. What type of parliamentarians were there?
Upper house, sir.
Representatives.
Upper house and lower house.
They were conservatives, liberal group, as well as labor. All these people represented British. Congress did not represent. Then who came? Muslim League came, and Muslim League was represented by Jinnah and Aga Khan. Then Indian state representatives or princely states representatives came, and British India, British Dominion, British India representative was whom? Official nominee. Official nominee was Ambedkar, Tej Bahadur Sapru. So Tej Bahadur Sapru, Ambedkar, everybody came. So you can see that. So what were the important things of the roundtable conference? So the purpose of roundtable conference was to discuss the Simon report. So Simon report came when? When was the Simon Commission, first of all?
1927, sir.
So Simon Commission was 1927. They presented the report in 1929-30, and they wanted to discuss on the Simon report. So delegates put forward 3 points, and it was agreed by the British. What was that? British agreed for a new All India government with All India Federation, central and states. Provincial governments will be given autonomy in internal matters. It was accepted. Federal government will be responsible to the federal legislature. All these 3 demands were accepted by the British. So now we can see All India Federation was accepted, responsible government at provinces is represented, and also the federal government responsible to federal legislatures respond. And one more important thing British gave was internal sovereignty. To whom? Internal sovereignty will be granted to whom? It was granted to which party?
Muslim League, sir.
No, to the princely states, because princely states was sandwiched between many of the British India. Yes or no? So princely states and British India is sandwiched because in whenever British dominions are there, we can say princely states are also there. So in order to differentiate the princely states and the British India, princely states will be given internal sovereignty, and that was there. And in this, Congress did not participate. Who participated? Ambedkar, with the official nominee of British India, he participated. So Ambedkar was the official personality who participated, and Ambedkar, he represented the British India in all the 3 roundtable conferences Ambedkar attended. And who were the others? Muhammad Ali Jinnah and Aga Khan represented the Muslim League. And Tej Bahadur Sapro also represented the British India. M.R. Jayakar, all they represented the Hindu Mahasabha and other princely states. Muhammad Safi, Fazulullah, all these leaders participated in the conference of Roundtable Conference 1. So what was the reaction? So princely states also participated, and their representatives came from Gwalior, Bhopal, Kashmir, Baroda, Mysore, Hyderabad, etc. All leaders participated in the roundtable conference. Now, what was the issue that was there? The question of minority representation was lot of debates going on, and you can see that this question is not solved. There was a communal problem there because 1909 gave what? Communal electorate in Morley Minto reforms. What was the problem then? They put forward the points. Who? Jinnah, Muhammad Ali Jinnah put his points, and that same 14 points were in opposition to Nehru. Similar points he put forward. British rejected Muhammad Ali Jinnah's points. So there was a question of minorities that was not solved. What were the Jinnah's 14 points that he put forward? So Jinnah came with 14 points, which is opposing to Nehru report earlier. The same thing, Jinnah said 14 points should be satisfied. Then only we will talk about forming government and sharing power and other things. But you have to solve the minority question. So what did he put forward? All provinces should have autonomy and residual power. All legislatures should have adequate representation of minorities, particularly Muslims. Uniform measure of autonomy to be granted to all provinces. In central legislature, Muslim representation should not be less than 1/3. Till the time rights of Muslims are safeguarded in the constitution, separate electorates for Muslims should continue. Where all separate they got, wherever they are majority, particularly in the Punjab province, in the Bengal province, they will be given separate electorate. That should continue. If reorganization of states are taking place, that Muslim majority Punjab, Bengal, and northwestern frontier provinces, they should not be disturbed. Religious liberty should be given to all communities. They can practice any religion and propagate and live anything. No bill should be passed if 3/4 of the members of the community is against it. You cannot pass. If minority, if any of the bill, if 3/4 of members, that means 75% of the members, if they oppose, we cannot pass. Sindh should be separated from the Bombay province. Greater reforms in Baluchistan, northwestern frontier provinces. Share of Muslims in all services should be adequate. Protection of Muslim culture. 1/3 of Muslim ministers should be there in every cabinet, whether in province or in the center. Any constitutional amendment is not possible without the consent of all the federal units. When he put forward all these things, British did not entertain that 14. Now, the official nominee of the British India, Dr. Ambedkar, he put forth the demand for the untouchable Dalits, they have been oppressed, and we want a constitutional. We cannot survive with the Hindu majority, with the Brahminical Aryan ideology. We want separate electorates only to safeguard our rights. We were subjugated for 5,000 years without any right. So give us separate electorate. So different parties are not coming in common agenda. Everybody wants what their own demand. There is no common agenda. So they were presenting their own religion or their own classes, their own issues. So different demands. Now British in the first RTC get confused. What is this? So first RTC ends with lot of chaos. On the background of this, you can see Gandhi-Irvine Pact comes. So 5th March 1931, Gandhi-Irvine Pact was signed. So what was the reason that Gandhi-Irvine Pact came? On 14th February 1931, you can see that the pact was signed, and this Gandhi Pact with Irvine, it is also known as Delhi Pact. They have asked in competitive exams, Delhi Pact. So you can see that 14th February 1931, this pact was placed. Congress was on equal footing. Congress was equal to government, British government, equal footing. Irvine, on behalf of government, agreed that we will immediately release all the prisoners. We will release their property. And Congress, and also, he also said that remission of fines. What do you mean by remission? That you need not pay. What was what you call put as a fine, need not pay. Then another thing Lord Irvine did was that he also said that we will give the right to make salt. This was also their right to make salt. So what was the concession given? Now Viceroy turned down two Gandhi's demands. This Gandhi put forward the public inquiry into police excess. What was the public inquiry? Police had brutally hit people in the civil disobedience movement, because civil disobedience was continued in the first RTC, and Gandhiji asked for a what he called police excess public inquiry. Then second thing, Gandhiji also requested to commute the death sentence of Bhagat Singh and his comrades. This he put forward, but this was rejected by Lord Irvine. And finally, you can see that Gandhiji had agreed to suspend civil disobedience movement, and he said we will participate in the second RTC. And one more concession government gave it is that you can peacefully picket the shops. What do you mean by picketing of shops?
Playing with the
Rahul?
placards,
Demonstration.
Yeah, they will be coming with the placards and they'll be showing that to the people that you don't buy this good, don't buy this. It is not of made in Indian. So you can see Gandhi-Irvine Pact was signed, but people with certain distance of coast can manufacture salt without paying any duty. Finally, this concession also was given. So Gandhiji, he put forward the demand of police excess, public inquiry, and commutation of Bhagat Singh's death sentence, but he did not press much. Finally, it was rejected, and Bhagat Singh and his comrade were hanged to death. So on this background, you can see Karachi session of Indian National Congress took place in March. Usually in December it will take place, but special session, Karachi session, they started, and it was presided over by Sardar Patel. So Sardar Patel was one among the tallest leaders. So a special Congress session, they came, they wanted to endorse what? Why did they bring this special session to endorse Gandhi-Irvin Pact? So to endorse the Gandhi-Irvin Pact, they asked the Congress to convene a session in March in Karachi. So Karachi session of Congress 1931. So Congress made resolutions. Now, during this time, Congress, they brought resolution. Why? You have the death of the revolutionaries, particularly they admire
Bhagat Singh,
who? By this time,
Bhagat Singh,
Bhagat Singh. So Congress admired. But Gandhiji did not do much enough to stop the death commutation. He could have done much, but Gandhiji played the politics. So that is why some revolutionaries are anti-Gandhi because he did not take care of the revolutionaries. So only they made what? They, after the hanging death, they were just singing songs in bravery and sacrifice. They admired the bravery and sacrifice of whom? Of the three martyrs. Who are the three martyrs?
Sukhdev, Rajguru, and Bhagat Singh.
Sukhdev,
Rajguru
Rajguru,
and Bhagat Singh.
and Bhagat Singh. So when did they execute? They were executed on 23rd March 1931. Which day? 23rd March 1931. They were executed, hanged to death by the British. So after their death only, Karachi session, they are now singing songs in bravery of these three martyrs. So on this background, you can see second roundtable conference. After the Gandhi-Irvin Pact was agreed and Gandhiji suspended all the civil disobedience movement and they participated in the second RTC, you can see that Gandhiji was the sole representative of Congress. In fact, Sarojini Naidu was part of Congress, but she came as a women representative. She came as a women representative. Gandhiji was the sole representative of Congress. So when this Congress held, when this second RTC was held, second roundtable conference was held on September 1931 to December 1931. It was held. So Mahatma Gandhi was the sole representative and other participants who were involved in first RTC, all participants were there. First RTC participants were there. Now in this additional was who? Gandhiji, Gandhi plus Naidu, Sarojini Naidu. And Sarojini Naidu represented whom? She represented women. Gandhi represented INC, Indian National Congress. So you can see Gandhi claimed that only Congress can represent political India. What did Gandhi say? Gandhi said that Indian National Congress is representing what? It will represent political India.
Political India.
But this is against whom? Against Ambedkar. Because Ambedkar was what? Official nominee of the British government. He representing British India. And Ambedkar participated in all the three roundtable conference. But now Gandhi is saying in this roundtable that only I am and Congress are the real representatives of political India. And untouchables and Muslims should not be treated as minorities. Who says? Gandhi brings his politics. He said untouchables and Muslims cannot be treated as minorities. And no separate electorate for minorities. No separate electorate for minorities. And now you can see that discussions were happening. Gandhiji is putting is that you cannot, what he called, we are the only sole representative of political India, and untouchable my Muslims cannot be treated as minorities, no separate electorates for minorities. So, who was the Prime Minister of England at that time? Ramsay MacDonald, and he headed the national government. They were scratching. They said already in our first RTC, we said federal government will give center and provinces also. Now Gandhiji is coming with his own politics. So Ambedkar, he pressed, he spoke, he said the issue of minority representation is still pending. And Gandhiji was still pressing for what? No separate representation. You cannot treat Muslims and untouchables, depressed classes as minorities. So the discussion went, and Ambedkar said, no, separate electorates should be given to depressed classes. All this chaos. So Britishers was coming. Now again, second time round table conference, each person is coming with what? Each person is coming with his own agenda, and there is no solution. So who were the other leaders who were prominently participated? G.D. Birla came and he represented the princely states. Who? G.D. Birla. He represented Sarojini Naidu and Muhammad Iqbal. He was one among the founding fathers of Pakistan, Muhammad Iqbal. And there you can see after this, the Chowdhury, Rehmat Chowdhury, he coins the term Pakistan. And this Iqbal is very important patriot. And he wrote this song. What is the song which is still sung in India, national song?
सारे जहाँ से
Sare Jahan Se Acha. This song was written by the Iqbal, and he later, after Rehmat Chowdhury took Pakistan, it was Iqbal who propagated this Pakistan idea. Second, after Rehmat Chowdhury, it was Iqbal. So second phase of now, everybody was coming, everybody is putting their own agenda. Second round table also was, there was no conclusion. Now Gandhi comes, he starts the second phase of CDM. Already CDM was there in first round table conference. So CDM starts in 1932 to 93. Second phase starts. Why second phase? Second phase started from January 1932. Why? Because second RTC ended on December 1931. That is why January 1932 itself, this second phase of RTC started. Already when RTC 1 was there, CDM was on. Civil disobedience movement was on in India. So Gandhiji was on his way. So when he was traveling in ship in voyage, he was coming. So you can see, then how did the second phase, this one start? So Gandhiji can see that the Congress leaders started the CDM, and in this CDM, you can see that second roundtable conference they got the information, Indians, that second RTC is a failure. So you can see that Jawaharlal Nehru, Khan Abdul Ghaffar Khan, all tallest leaders of Congress and Gandhian supporters, all were protesting, and they launched the CDM, and government became very angry. So they arrested all the leaders. Now Gandhi, when he landed in India, he was arrested. So May 1933, the movement was called off. Why? Because any movement, it cannot sustain. You cannot see any in war also. It cannot be sustained just like that. There will be many battles. Certain time in the battle also, you have to come back and you have to go retrospect, and you have to come and then move forward with vigor as well as with new strategy. So nothing concrete came, and moreover, we cannot sustain the movements, mass movements, just like that. So always there should be some kind of a break. Otherwise, people lose momentum. When people started losing momentum, you cannot relaunch. So when first CDM was called off, that decision impacted. Why? When did first CDM was called off? What was the reason Gandhi called off and it impacted the momentum? Why? What was the incident in 1922 in Uttar Pradesh or United Provinces?
Chauri Chaura.
Yes, Chauri Chaura incident. Gandhiji, after the 22 policemen were burned to death and many civilians were killed, and he called off this movement. Suddenly, it impacted the movement. So, in May 1933, again, second CDM, which was civil disobedience movement, and which was in the second phase, Gandhi started after the failure of second RTC, he called off. So, this decision also impacted the movement. So during this phase, you can see third RTC, second phase of CDM, you can see during this phase, third RTC comes. So in civil disobedience movement, repressive measures, arrests, everything was happening. And British wanted to break this nationalistic movement because it is a thorn in the flesh. So during this time, to play politics, now the Ramsay MacDonald, the Prime Minister of England, he gives an award called Communal Award. What is that Communal Award? So during the first RTC, second RTC, Britishers clearly saw that there were differences between different communities and it is visible. Indians were not able to arrive at a consensus and they used their tool of divide and rule. And Britishers wanted, their agenda is not to give India independence and all. They wanted to control. So Ramdev MacDonald, he wanted to break this Indian nationalism. So he communally divides and his award is called as MacDonald Award or Communal Award.
So your voice is breaking.
No, 1 minute, yeah. Now it is audible.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So on 16th August 1932, Communal Award is given. And what is this Communal Award? Communal Award was announced by the British Prime Minister Ramsay MacDonald on August 16, 1932. This Communal Award was based on the findings. It was based on the findings. And what was the findings? Britishers, they found out, particularly the findings of Indian Franchisee Committee. Indian, they have asked in competitive exams. So Indian Franchisee Committee. And this franchisee committee is also known as Lothian Committee. Lothian Committee. So this Indian franchisee, they found out what? That established separate electorates and reserved seats for minorities. So which were granted 78 reserved seats. What were they given? So this committee established that separate electorates and reserved seats for minorities. Separate electorate for whom? Separate electorates plus reserved seats for minorities. And this separate seats for minorities, who all include? They include Muslims,
Christians.
they include Europeans who are living in India, they include Christians, they include Sikh,
Buddhist, Jain.
They include Anglo-Indians. All these were regarded as what? As minorities. And they got 78 seats. And with when they got 78 seats in the legislature, you can see Gandhi saw this as Gandhi was furious. Gandhiji was furious, and he said it is a what you call attack on what? Attack on Indian
Community.
unity. Indian unity and its nationalism. So that is why they boycotted the third RTC. After this only, after the Ramsay McDonald's Communal Award. What do you mean by Communal Award? Muslims, Europeans, Christians, Sikhs, and Anglo-Indians will get separate and reserved seats for them. And they will get 78 seats in total, and which Gandhi saw as what he called, he was very furious, and he saw as an attack on the Indian unity and its nationalism. So in this way, you can see Gandhiji did not approve this. So you can see that after this, you can see in November, Roundtable Conference 3 starts. So what were the features of communal? The size of provincial legislature assemblies will be doubled. Seats for minorities and other depressed classes will be increased. Muslims, Sikhs, depressed classes, Anglo-Indians, Europeans, Christians, everybody will be given. Now, depressed classes will be given separate electorate, and Muslims and others, everybody will be getting, Europeans, Anglo-Indians, Christians, everybody will be getting separate. Now in this, 3% of seats will be given for women reservation, internal quota. 3% of seats will be reserved for women in this communal. So Gandhiji saw separate electorate and reservation seats for whom? Laborers, landlords, traders, union of tea estates in Assam, all of them. Muslims, wherever they were majority in Punjab and Bengal, separate electorate. Wherever they are minority, they will be given double representation. So by giving separate electorates to depressed classes and also to other Sikh, Anglo-Indian, Europeans, Christians, Muslims, they were dividing the Hindus from everybody. This was the argument put, and depressed classes. So here comes the Gandhian politics. Gandhiji never wanted Dalits to be given a separate status. He wanted to keep, that means Gandhiji followed the Varnashrama Dharma system. Gandhiji did not wanted the caste system to be abolished. He said it is an internal part. But now the Dalits or the depressed classes, untouchables, are asking for what? Freedom from this oppression. For 5,000 years of Aryan subjugation, they are asking for what? Freedom. So they wanted a constitutional guarantee. Now Gandhiji said, no, you are dividing the Hindus. So he vehemently opposed this. So on this background, you can see the Pune Pact was signed on 24th September. Prior to the third RTC, Pune Pact was signed between Gandhi and Ambedkar. So you can see that Gandhiji in Yerwada jail, he starts his 24-day fast. So because of the health of Gandhi, on 20th September of Gandhiji was very much going into the fast until death for the communal award by Ramsay MacDonald. By 20th September 1932 onwards, Gandhiji did not, civil disobedience still called off. It was called off only later in 1933. But we can see Gandhiji went to fast unto death. What reason? Division of Hindus. By this communal award, who were the majority of so-called Hindus in today's Hindu society? It is the Dalits. How much percentage of Brahmins will be there if you divide Indian society? They may be around 3 to 5% will be upper caste. Then another 10 to 12% will be the Kshatriyas, some 15 to 25% will be the Vaishyas, and rest, if you put all together, 50% of Indians, more than that, will be the Shudras and Dalits. So you can see the Dalits form the major what you call the population of the country. Gandhiji did not want to separate. So Gandhiji was against the separate electorates for depressed classes. For him, it means division of Hindus. So Madan Mohan Malaviya, Rajendra Prasad, M.C. Raja, all belonging to the scheduled caste, Dalits, they were representing, they all met the tallest leader of the oppressed classes, Ambedkar. They said that, please give up, because Gandhiji is fasting unto that, something will happen to him, and give up the demand, and we will compromise for reservation for them, instead of dividing us the Hindu society. So to safeguard the life of Gandhiji, who's on the verge of his death by fasting unto death, now Ambedkar agreed to meet Gandhiji. So finally, Ambedkar met Gandhi, and they compromised for the health background, for the sake of Gandhi's life. Ambedkar climbed down and he signed the Pune Pact. On behalf of Gandhi, Madan Mohan Malaviya signed and Ambedkar signed the pact. Gandhiji did not sign the Pune Pact. It was Madan Mohan Malaviya signed, who representing the scheduled caste person. He represented the Congress, particularly Gandhiji, and he signed the Pune Pact. On this Pune Pact, you can see that it was signed by Dr. Ambedkar as well as on behalf of Gandhi, Madan Mohan Malaviya on 24th September 1932, this Pune Pact was signed. The Pune Pact, now they abandoned the idea of separate electorates for Dalits. What did they said? No, we will increase the seats for the depressed classes. And how much in the communal award they got? 71 seats was given for depressed classes. Now Gandhi said, no, we will double it. We will give 147 seats in the central legislature. Total seats, how much it is there? It is immaterial, but 147 seats will be from oppressed classes because they form the largest population of the country. So Pune Pact was accepted by the British government. Who accepted the Pune Pact? British government, and they amended the communal award. So on this background, this amended communal award was now accepted. On this background, third RTC. So you can see that separate electorates were cancelled, reserved seats will be increased, depressed classes will get reservation to 147 seats in central legislature. Greater representation will be given for the Dalits, oppressed classes in the civil services. And why did they do? Gandhiji said, I will promote a unity among Hindus and I will work for untouchability removal. And did Gandhiji remove untouchability?
No, sir.
Even today, untouchability is prevalent or what? Yes or no? Even today, untouchability
Yes, sir.
is practiced. Though it is a crime, still today in various parts of the country, untouchability is there. And he started Harijan Sevak Sangh to collect funds for welfare of Hindus. All eyewash done by Gandhi. And he said Harijan. Who is Harijan? Hari means God. Jan means people. He called people of God whom?
Dalits.
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 If Dalits were given as people of God, that means they should be given the right to enter the Garbhagudi or what? The sanctum sanctorium.
Garbhagriha, yes, sir.
Garbhagriha. Okay. So, and they should be given the right to perform all the rituals. That means they're special. No, they're also people of God. No. So, in this way, Gandhi played politics and divided the society, and he did not want the emancipation of the oppressed classes. So, third roundtable conference takes place, and this roundtable conference was held from November 1932 to December 1932. So, third roundtable conference. Now, in this, Gandhiji and Indian National Conference, the Congress INC, as well as the Labour Party of Britain, they refused to participate. Who refused to participate? Third RTC, Indian National Congress, Gandhi and Labour Party, they refused to participate. And Ambedkar attended. And surprisingly, Muhammad Ali Jinnah did not attend. Muhammad Ali Jinnah did not attend. And who attended? B.R.
Madan Mohan Malviya.
Attended the third roundtable conference. So the decision taken in this third RTC, all major of them were reflected where decisions, and that came as Government of India Act 1935. Government of India Act 1935. This decisions, what was taken, it came as a constitutional guarantee most. And this Government of India Act became a major phase for the Constitution of India. This was a major thing which became the base for the Constitution of India, which was framed between 1947 to 1949 in the Constituent Assembly. Major thing. So third roundtable conference, what was the issues? So third roundtable conference, Congress did not attend. Congress only attended only second RTC. Gandhiji was the sole representative. So why did they boycott it? Gandhiji started the civil disobedience movement. So both the times when Congress boycotted, CDM was there. Only in the second RTC, Gandhi agreed to to withdraw the CDM. So RTC 1, RTC 3, CDM was underway, civil disobedience movement. The result of RTC, certain points of discussion were included. In this, Rahmat Ali Chowdhury or Chowdhury Rahmat Ali, he coined the term what? Pakistan. And for creation of separate state during this third RTC. And Rahmat Ali Chowdhury became one among the most vociferously propagator of the Pakistani movement. Later, Muhammad Iqbal, the great poet, also supported the Pakistani movement. And third RTC, Muhammad Ali Jinnah did not attend, Congress did not attend, Labour Party of Britain did not attend, Ambedkar attended. So you can see that the 1933 civil disobedience movement was still there. And now you can see white paper of 1933 was demanded. So white paper, Lord Lilith-Go was what? He formed a committee, the British Viceroy of India, and after all the RTCs, why? Because he wanted to propose a new draft bill to replace the Government of India Act 1919. So he formed a committee. And based on the recommendations of this committee, the bills were passed. And that after the third RTC, finally, the concessions came in the form of a new constitution with amendments came called as Government of India Act 1935. This Government of India Act became the base for the Indian Constitution after the independence. So 1938, in Haripura session, Subhash Chandra Bose became president. And after 1939 also, Tirupuri session, now Gandhiji plays politics. Gandhiji did not like Subhash Chandra Bose. So he puts what? Subhash Chandra Bose is recontesting the election, and Gandhiji did not want Bose to be elected. So he asks Maulana Abul Kalam Azad to contest. Kalam said, I will not contest. So Gandhiji persuaded Pattabi Sitaramaya from the Madras presidency to contest this election. He contested against Subhash Chandra Bose. Subhash Chandra Bose won majority. Bose also became the Congress president. So simultaneously, 1938, 1939, Haripura session and Tirupuri session. Both the sessions of Congress, Subhash Chandra Bose became the Congress president. Now, when Subhash Chandra Bose became Congress president, Gandhiji's politics also was very much, and Gandhiji was really unhappy because his decision was not taken and his nominee was not elected. Then there were a lot of internal strife, and Subhash Chandra Bose got disillusioned with the Congress politics and Gandhiji's politics. So he resigned from the Congress presidency and he left the Congress and he created a new party called Forward Bloc. After Subhash Chandra Bose abruptly resigned, Gandhiji's nominee, his follower, who Dr. Rajendra Prasad, he is also from the associated from the Satyagrahas, Champaran Satyagrahas and other Satyagrahas. Rajendra Prasad was Gandhiji's follower. He was elected as the new president. So after that, from 1940 to 1945, Maulana Abul Kalam Prasad was elected and he became the Congress, and he was one among the longest serving Congress presidents prior to independence. Why? What was the reason? What was the reason?
World War II, sir.
Correct. World War II started from when? From 1939 to 1945. So you can see World War II, Congress could not have session. That is why continuously Maulana Abdul Kalam was the president of Congress. And later in 1948, after independence only, Pattabi Sitaramaya became the Congress president in 1948. In 1939, he lost. But in 1948, when Gandhi was alive, he was elected the president of Congress. Gandhiji's wish came finally true. Sitaramaya became president of Congress. So Second World War and India. During the Second World War, even Viceroy Lilithgow was the longest serving Viceroy. Why? Because World War II was there from 1939 to 1945. Even British did not. So who were the longest serving Viceroy? Lord Lilithgow. And who was the longest serving president before independence? Maulana Abul Kalam Azad. So Lord Lilithgow, as in the World War I, how British engaged India, similarly in World War II, without consulting Indians, India was made part of the World War II, and Indian people were there, Indian money, Indian soldiers, and India was made as a party to the Second World War, all for the ego clashes of the British. So Congress now said, okay, we will support you. As did in First World War, Congress supported, Gandhiji supported, again Second World War, so Congress supported, and in return said, what you'll give us? We wanted representative government. We wanted dominion status. Will you give that? So you can see that Subhash Chandra Bose, who got disillusioned with the politics, who formed the Forward Bloc, he said he wanted to utilize this momentum in which British is fighting the war, and he wanted to use this and attack the British and get independence for India, complete Purna Swaraj. And Gandhiji put a stumbling block, says Subhash Chandra Bose, don't need of any independence. We will support the British. They will give us representative government. They will give constitutional provision, everything. Subhash Chandra Bose ideologically differed from Gandhiji. So in 1940 session, Congress President Maulana Abul Kalam Azad became president, and Congress President Maulana Azad he took the decision to support the British officially from Congress, and they supported the Second World War. And the agenda they kept is responsible government, representative government. We will have autonomy, and every official members will be will be elected. So you can see that to secure the support of Congress, Lord Linlithgow, so he started this World War II and made India part of it. Later, Congress supported and offered few proposals to the Congress party. So in August 1940, you can see that the August offer was given. And what was the August offer of 1940? Lord Linlithgow, he gave certain concessions. What was the concession? So August was that we will give a representative constitutional making body. So that will be there. What is it? So that will be formed when? That will be given only after the war. Till that, Congress has to support. There should be no differences in opinion. And immediately, we will increase the number of Indians in the Viceroy's Executive Council. A war advisory council will be set up where Indian representatives also will be there. Already, Linlithgow made India party without consulting, and Congress now supported. Now they asked for responsible government, representative government. They said, okay, representative body will be given, but only after the war, they can make the new constitution with dominion status. So, and also we will increase the number of Indians in the executive council. And we will make a war advisory council. In that, Indian representation will be there. So these were the provisions of Lord Linlithgow in August 1940, and this became August offer. So Congress rejected this August offer in 1940. Jawaharlal Nehru said, where is the proposal for dominion status? You are saying representative body, but we wanted dominion status. Where is that offer you gave us dominion status? So Muslim League said, rejected the August offer. They said, where is the proposal for separate country for Muslims, partition of India, no provision for Pakistan? Where is that? So Muslim League rejected on the basis of dominion status, for Pakistan status. Indian National Congress with Jawaharlal Nehru said dominion status. They rejected the August offer. So individual satyagraha. So you can see that for the first time, the accepted dominion status explicitly, Indians request to form the constituent, assembly. So by July 1941, Viceroy's Executive Council, which was there, it was enlarged. In that, Indians were majority. Out of 12 members in the Viceroy's Executive Council, out of 12 members, 8 were Indians. So Indians had majority in this Viceroy's Executive Council. So you can see that now majority, this is the first time India got majority, in any of the council. Now you can see that British remained in charge of what? British will be in charge of what all parts of the wings of the government. We will be part of defense. British will be part of finance, and also British will be part of home affairs. Rest all things, education, medical, food, other issues, everything, all will be there. And now they said National Defense Council. National Defense Council will be set up, in that Indians will have representation. So this will have what? No powers. They cannot legislate. They can give only advice. So advice can be given, but no powers to take decision for this National Defense Council, which will have Indian representation. All representation, it will be taken by the government of Britain. So on this background, individual satyagraha 1940-41 is started. The aims of launching individual satyagraha by Gandhi ji was to show what? Their anger as well as their disapproval of August offer. So August offer was a big failure. It did not enthuse the Congress or nor the Muslim League. There was no option left for Congress. What to do? So Gandhi ji started individual satyagraha and along with few individuals. So few individuals along with Jawaharlal Nehru and others also, they started. Why did they Gandhi ji called? Because they wanted to persuade people not to support the British with money and men. Already Congress said that we will support for the Second World War. When August offer was rejected, now Gandhi ji turns against the British. Now he's saying we have to persuade people not to support the British with money and men to fight the Second World War. So the politics of India started. So to the call of Gandhi ji, Vinoba Bhave became the first satyagrahi. Second satyagrahi was Jawaharlal Nehru. And when they saw this, the individual satyagraha, this political tool, it did not garner support. People were not interested. Now, there was no enthusiasm given by the people to Gandhiji's call. Slowly, he recalled this. But he restarted again. He launched this individual satyagraha. Then also, people did not support. Finally, he called off this individual satyagraha. So Cripps mission comes. So in March 1942, during the World War I, we can see Cripps mission come. So Cripps mission comes in the background when Japan captured Rangoon in Burma, which was the British territory of British India, which was separated in 1935 from the mainland in the from mainland Indian British Indian administration. So during this time, Japan was the gate of India. Now Britishers were what? Fearing anything can happen. So the need of hour was what? We need to get support of Indians. So British know without Indian support, we cannot what we called support throw away the British. And moreover, United States also put lot on the British India and on the pressure was on the British that we should not give space. Why? British and USA was opposing UK plus USA versus Japan. So Japan was enemy to UK and USA to find solution. So Sir Stratford Cripps was sent to India to garner the Indian support and which became Cripps mission. So in March 1942, on the background that Japan had captured Rangoon on the gate of India to capture India. So now Sir Stratford Cripps came in March 1942 with a mission. What was the mission? He said that we will give constitutional proposals to Indians, but Indians should support us in this war and drive away the British. So British was ready to give India the dominion status under the USA pressure also was there so that Japanese will be thrown away from the borders of India. And they said constitutional making body will be given immediately and that will be consisting of majority of Indians only. And any province which does not accept the constitution can stick to the present system. Princely states are free to accept or reject the constitution. This was the Cripps mission. And the reason was that Japan's invasion at India's doorstep and India support was very crucial. So the Allied powers, USA and the Soviet Russia, USSR, all were putting pressure on whom? On UK as well as on Indians to support the UK so that Japanese will be drove away from Indian subcontinent. So you can see that dominion status was offered and later the permission to set up what? To opt to come out of the Commonwealth and they can join any international organization, UN, they can have a constitution, any province, if doesn't like this, they can stick to the current system. Princely state was given. on all these things. In meantime, defense of India will be in the British government, and Governor General will have the powers. So Cripps mission now comes with this proposal. And he said executive council will be set up and Indians will be given the permission to take decisions and majority will be consensus. What was the reaction of Congress to the Cripps proposal? Cripps proposal said they rejected. Why? Because we are asking the dominion status. You are giving us what? That princely states can come, any province if they doesn't want to like, you are dividing India. We will not agree. Now Muslim League rejected. They said, where is Pakistan? No proposal for Muslims. So in this way, Muslim League rejected, Congress rejected. Congress said it will divide India. Muslim League said no proposal for partition in Pakistan. So Cripps mission was a failure. So Quit India movement 1942 was announced by the Congress because Congress exhausted all the offers. In this, we can see Gandhiji gives a historic decision. For the first time, Gandhiji accepted Purna Swaraj. Gandhiji accepted, what do you mean by Purna Swaraj?
Complete independence.
Gandhiji accepted what? No need of any British, we will rule ourselves. Gandhiji said complete independence. And this Quit India movement, do or die movement, they said this is the now as a time. So all Congress leaders, all were arrested. So who came to the forefront? The leader who took forward, who became one among the stalwarts of post-independence India. Who?
Jawaharlal Nehru.
Sardar
No, no.
Vallabhbhai Patel.
No, who became the stalwarts of post-independence India, who was awarded the Bharat Ratna for participation, and she made a mark in the Indian history. Who? I gave the gender also.
Bharat Ratna.
I said she.
Sarojini Naidu. Sarojini
No.
Naidu. Iron Woman of India.
Who? This was given.
Bhikaji Cama.
This was praised none less than this term was given by Atal Bihari Vajpayee.
Indira Gandhi.
It is Indira Gandhi. Okay. Indira Gandhi comes to the national forefront as a 26-year-old woman. She joins and forefronts because of her contribution to the Indian national movement for the freedom struggle, as well as for her contributions for the 1971 war win against dividing Pakistan. She was later awarded the Bharat Ratna. So Quit India movement came in 1942 because Cripps missions failed. And now Cripps missions failed. The reason for the failure is that Congress objected to the dominion status and British are playing politics. So the right of provinces to secede and retention of power of Governor General Council, no transfer of power, it was haphazard. Muslim League said that no single India, we want Pakistan. And they did not like the machinery for a creation of Constituent Assembly. Pakistan was not exclusively mentioned. So Muslim League. So all these things led to the Quit India movement. After the failure of August Offer and Cripps proposal, Gandhiji was given the call for Purna Swaraj. Because of Congress exhausted all the methods, then Gandhiji was frustrated and he started the campaign that do or die. Withdrawal, British, you go away, you quit India. British, so Gandhiji started. So this movement is also called as do or die movement or Quit India movement. Both are same. Do or die movement or Quit India movement. 8th August 1942, Purna Swaraj was given call and they start the Quit India movement. When they gave the call, Gandhiji, they rejected the August offer, Cripps mission, all leaders were arrested. Gandhiji himself was arrested. They were taken to unknown destination. Gandhiji and Sarojini Naidu, they were arrested and they were kept in Aga Khan Palace in Pune. Rajendra Prasad, J.P. Narayanan, Jay Prakash Narayanan, arrested in Bihar. They were kept in Hazaribagh jail. Then Jawaharlal Nehru and others were all arrested. Madan Mohan Malaviya, Tej Bahadur Sapru, everybody were arrested. J.P. Narayan, he disguised himself and escaped from the Hazaribagh jail and he went underground. So during this Quit India movement, large number of underground networks were brought out, and along with Indira Gandhi, Usha Mehta, Achyut Patwardhan, Aruna Asif Ali, Ram Manohar Lohia, Biju Patnaik, Chuchita Kriplani, all these leaders were what? They came in large numbers to take the mantle because all frontline leaders, everybody was arrested. So the significant feature of Quit India movement is that parallel governments were emerged in the eastern Uttar Pradesh, in Bhalia, in Chittu Pandey in 1942, he declared the first independent government of India. And of all the mass movements, Britishers, they showed their real color. Government repression was highest and people started to were killed. Government places were attacked and government officers were attacked. People were brutally attacked and killed in the 1942 Quit India movement. British government, apart from violence, they held Gandhian Congress for responsible. It was Congress who proponed this and they wanted British to, and British unleashed the mass, what he called repression. Gandhiji demanded, okay, if we are responsible, you put us a judicial committee on a sitting judge. Government did not put that demand, they rejected. International said, I will go on fast unto that. So Gandhiji went on 21 days fast in response to the government. So what was the issue now? After the public pressure, Gandhiji's fast, because Gandhiji now has become frail, he was released from Aga Khan Palace. After coming out from the Aga Khan Palace, from the temporary prison, Gandhiji negotiated with the British. So what was the terms of the negotiation? So you can see that if responsible government is given where Indian representation, we will not launch any other satyagraha. But give us responsible government where we will have our say, we will conduct our, you keep defense and you keep the what you call important this one, but we will rule ourselves. But government asked, okay, you withdraw the movement. Are you able to hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
There
sir.
was some network issue. So government asked Gandhi to withdraw Quit India movement. Gandhi refused and deadlock continued. So now you can see that during this phase of the Quit India movement in June 1943, Rash Bihari Bose, Subhash Chandra Bose reached Tokyo. Earlier, Rash Bihari Bose founded what? In Japan. He founded
Indian
Indian National Army.
League and Indian National Army. By this time, he had gone to Tokyo and he was very much what he called he formed the Indian Independence League and the Indian National Army. He decided. So Subhash Chandra Bose in June, he reached Tokyo. When he reached Tokyo, he met the Japanese Prime Minister. During this time, Subhash Chandra Bose asked permission for the INA to function. Japan gave permission for the INA. So after Subhash Chandra Bose reached, prior to the reaching what he called the Japan, he also had a pact with Rash Bihari Bose in Singapore. So the Indian Independence League, INA, both of them comes under the control of Subhash Chandra Bose by July 1943. So by October 21, 1943, Subhash Chandra Bose, he forms the Provincial Free Government of India at Singapore. So when did Subhash Chandra Bose forms the Free Provincial Government of India, Free India, on 21st October 1943 at Singapore. You can see Subhash Chandra Bose, he launches the Provincial Free Government of India. So he gave the proposal, the slogan. Who? Subhash Chandra Bose gave this famous slogan. What is that slogan? Which is still, he said, "Give me blood. Give me blood. I will give you what?
Freedom.
I will give
Freedom, independence.
freedom." This was the what you call the famous slogan. Who said, "Give me blood, Kurmani do, or Azadi Milo." So they said, "Give your
आप मुझे खून दो मैं तुम्हें
Yeah.
आपको आजादी दूंगा.
so आप खून दो, आपको आजादी मिलेगा." So this
मैं
was
आजादी दूंगा.
the slogan. So when this slogan came,
Of
you can see that the provincial government declared war on whom? They declared war on, interestingly, on UK as well as on USA, and was provincial government declared war on Britain, USA, and was recognized by whom? This provincial government. Axis powers.
Germany.
Who was the Axis powers? Germany and others were the Axis powers. They supported and recognized the government of Free India in Singapore, headed by Subhash Chandra Bose. So you can see UK and USA who declared war. Subhash Chandra Bose, government of Free India, they declared. In this period, you can see there was a women regiment called Rani Jhansi Regiment. Rani Jhansi Regiment, women regiment, was also formed in this period. So you can see that the 1944 Rajagopalachari comes with what? Comes with a formula called CR formula. So CR formula comes with a proposal to end the deadlock, to get support from the Muslim League as also to the independence. What is the CR formula? Chakravarti Rajagopalachari formula, or called as Rajaji formula. So they accepted, Rajaji accepted the principle of Pakistan division. The Muslim League also supported the Congress to get that, we will support you, let us get independence and let us divide. Muslim League Congress said, we will also form the provincial governments together. A commission will be set up to develop constitution where assembly will come, but after the World War, and separate agreements will be made on defense as well as on war. Based on the Rajaji formula, talks continues between Gandhiji and Jinnah. Jinnah did not accept Rajaji formula. So on behind this, you can see Wavell plan comes. So Lord Lilithgow was succeeded after 9 years being in government of India's head as Viceroy, Governor General. He succeeded by Lord Lilithgow. Wavell succeeded by Lord Wavell. When Lord Wavell becomes Viceroy, he comes with a plan to end the deadlock because none of the parties are agreeing for a solution. Each one is coming with their own plan. Each one is sticking on to their demands. There is no consensus. The Executive Council will be set up and it will have balanced representation based on population. The Executive Council will act as interim government. However, veto power will be with the Viceroy and it will not be abolished. The external affairs can be transferred to an Indian member of the Executive Council. This was the Wavell plan. So you can see that Indians could draft the constitution themselves at the end of the war. So 25th June 1945, a conference was held at Shimla, the summer capital of India. Lord Wavell headed this conference and discussions were put forward. When the discussions of Lord Wavell were put forward, the plan was opposed by Congress. So on this, you can see that cabinet mission plan comes. So Attlee became Lord Clement Attlee. He became the Prime Minister. Attlee government in 1946. Clement Attlee. So Clement Attlee, when he becomes the Prime Minister of Britain, so he puts the Secretary of State. Who was the Secretary of State? Sir Lawrence Pethick. So Sir Lawrence or Pethick Lawrence. So he was the Secretary of State, Cabinet Minister, MP. So he led a three-man cabinet, and they deputed from London to New Delhi. They came from London to New Delhi. So they were hoping that Indian National Congress and Muslim League, that they will end their deadlock, and now the British will transfer of power. This is dominion status, not what you called complete independence, dominion status, and that will be only single government. But Congress and Muslim League should form single government. So cabinet mission plan. So cabinet mission plan, now Sir Lawrence Pethick comes in this three-member. Sir Stafford Cripps, Sir Lawrence Pethick, and A.V. Alexander are the three-member cabinet ministers headed by Sir Lawrence Pethick, came in 1946 to set up a missionary for developing the constitution of the India. And that cabinet will become what? Interim government. And in this cabinet mission, unity of India will be retained. Demand for Pakistan was rejected. And since it will create a serious problem in the area of defense and external affairs, it is not beneficial. So British said, we'll have united India, and Union of India will be consisting of provinces and princely states. So greater power will be given to the union government, and this constitutional making body will be a representative body. Each province's seats can be given in population, which has the proportion that will be given. So now provinces were divided into three parts: Group A, Group B, Group C. Group A will have Hindu majority, Group B will have Muslim majority, Group C will have wherever Muslims and Hindus are almost equal and having Muslims having a slight majority, it will be called as Group C. So slightly Muslim majority in Group C areas will be discussed. So what is the reaction to the proposal of the cabinet mission? Why did British withdrawal seem imminent by 1946? Because the success of nationalistic forces in the struggle for hegemony, they are not wanting any dominant status, because they wanted that British should go. And moreover, the British loyalists and the bureaucracy, they were disillusioned, they got demoralized, because constant what you call bickering by the parties, we cannot govern. And British also understood that now situation is going out of control, we cannot have reconciliation, and the repression strategy of British cannot work. We cannot more and more you suppress, more and more people are coming into the struggle against British. And one thing happened in 1946 is that the Royal Indian Mutiny, RIN mutiny, this was the major thing which shook the British, because the disciplined Navy, they attacked with more than 10,000 members of the Royal Indian Navy. They attacked the ports in Karachi, in Bombay, in other ports. This shook the British government. The day they rebelled, that evening itself, Clement Attlee and other government came. They said, no more we can control India. We have to withdraw. Muslim League initially accepted the cabinet mission, but later Muslim League, there were internal problem. They rejected this cabinet mission. They said, no, we want Pakistan. We don't want united India. So in this way, cabinet mission also failed. So when cabinet mission was failed, you can see direct action plan was brought on 16th August 1946. And this was a very sad day. It is called as a Great Calcutta killing day. It is all because of the Muslim League. 6,000 Hindus were massacred in the Calcutta city, and it started the civil war between Hindus and Muslims. Muslim League supported this communalism and the killing, and that brought a great Congress, and Gandhiji was very much saddened. And this civil war brought lot of issues. That is why the British said no more. We can govern. So on 20th February 1947, British Prime Minister Clement Attlee said, we will transfer the power into the Indian hands by June 1948. And he announced that Lord Mountbatten will come as the Viceroy in replacement to Wavell. So Lord Louis Mountbatten became the Viceroy, and he comes with his plan. And that plan is also called as June 3rd Plan. June 3rd Plan. Or it is called as Dickey Bird Plan. So this plan is freedom with partition. This plan is freedom with partition that was proposed. So this formula was coming and widely accepted. The important points of the plan are Mountbatten wanted that the Bengal and Punjab legislative assemblies will meet in two groups, Hindus and Muslim, and they have to vote in partition. If simple majority, if Hindus gets majority, if Muslim gets majority, then we will partition these provinces. Later, in case partition, the two dominions, two constitutional assemblies will create. And Sindh will be given autonomy, they can take their own decision. So this Dickey Bird plan is to balkanize India. So partition of India would take place. Muslim majority districts will be given what? Representation will be given. Remaining provinces will be meet. If anyone passes simple majority, they will be given. And if partition can be done, they can join either of the dominion. They will give the decision for the creating two constituent assemblies. And moreover, referendum was held in the Assam, particularly the Sylhet region. Sylhet was the Muslim majority. They said, no, we will join the Muslim majority. In this way, Legislative Assembly of Sindh decided that we will join the Pakistan Constituent Assembly. And similarly, it was given to the Northwestern Fortier province. Political solution was accepted by all parties. Now, because of the great Calcutta freedom day of killing of 6,000, everybody saddened and said no more bloodshed. But June 1948 was the date which was kept for the partitioning. By this, it made easier for the British to transfer the power. And finally, British was able to transfer the power prior to June 1948. On 15th August, India got independence. Prior to that, 14th August, they divided the India into India and Pakistan got independence one day prior to India. So what were the results? Finally, Hindu members of Bengal and Punjab voted for partition. Sindh and Northwestern province said that we'll go with Pakistan. Sylhet district said we'll go with East Pakistan. By 14 June 1947, all Congress members accepted the partition. So this ends the modern Indian history. So there'll be a question for mains. The rise of, enumerate the causes for the rise of communalism in India. So 250 words, mains question can be asked. Enumerate the causes for the rise of communalism in the pre-independent India, or they can put as during the eve of partition. Either they can twist. What will be the answer is what we are going to discuss. What led? So you can see that communism started with the British policy. British saw the 1857 revolt, a Hindu-Muslim unity. After that, large number of events started and the widening of Gulf started. How? Britishers used Sir Syed Ahmad Khan to divide the national movement. And they brought Congress so that Congress will become the spying agency for British. But Congress was effectively in somewhat moderate leaders used to create opinion and resolution. In this way, they started, and the rise of the activities of Lord Curzon, and prior to that, you can see the activities of Lord Lytton led to the rise of Indian national movement, and the activities of Lord Curzon led to the rise of the extremism, which led to the partitioning of Bengal by Lord Curzon. And British also gave rupees 14 lakhs for forming Muslim League to break the Congress backbone. In 1909, the constitutional reforms gave separate communal electorates for Muslims. Nehru report comes with conflicting points on the background of 1927 Simon Commission. In countering to the Nehru report, Jinnah comes with 14-point formula. And in 1932, Ramsay MacDonald in the Roundtable Conference 2, he gives the communal award where every party, depressed classes, Sikhs, Christians, Muslims, Anglo-Indians, everybody will be given seats and separate electorates. Third Roundtable Conference led to the what we called the failure of talks. Cripp's proposal was also was a major cause for the rise of Hinduism because it was opposed by the Muslim League as well as by Congress. Rajaji's formula, where he accepted the partition, also opposed by the um, by the uh, Hindu right-wing organizations, particularly by Hindu Mahasabha and RSS for dividing India. So Rajaji formula was opposed. And Cabinet Mission Plan was also responsible for the rise of communalism. And Direct Action Day, the Great Calcutta killing day, which killed 6,000 innocent people, Hindus in Calcutta, was responsible for the rise of Hindu-Muslim, what we called rivalry. And Lord Mountbatten's Dicky Bird plan of dividing India and his proposal also was responsible for the rise of communalism. So if you write all these points and if you give an introduction, definitely you will get 8 out of 15 marks. Okay, so this ends the national movement. Do you have any queries? Rahul?
No, sir.
Okay. So what I will do is that I will send you the notes in a week's time, and I'll communicate. Now we'll put a modern India test for those people who have just not conducted. We'll put separately. Okay. So any other doubts, anything material, we will get back to you. So this